Hey there, Michael here from Leaderscape once again. If you've got a few minutes, just sit back and just check this out. It could actually be a game changer for you. I've just come off a call with a lot of our Leaderscape family, and I'm actually pretty pumped with all of the swirling stuff that's going around. You pivoted, hate the word, but you pivoted in 3 or 4 days as a lead pastor to get your church online from onsite, and now we're dribbling back on-site again, some in months, some happened already, and then obviously we've got a whole lot of the other social pressures. People are doing a hard reset in their thinking right now, and to be honest, it's all a little bit overwhelming. Let me try and cut through this for you. Don't be put off by this. This is something that I did with our closed group. The funnel comes in here. This is the on-site the progression, the discipleship progression we've been running with for some time. God's guest cards, growth track, life groups and teams, and backdoor. The assertion there is if you can get a handle on the process of discipleship, not only does it give you a great outcome of 25, 35, 40% growth, but it also allows you to identify where the problems are along the progression. In addition to that, we've now got an online deal where our views are coming in. Many views of the new crack for pastors. Not that pastors are on crack, but you know what I'm saying. But we got to be discerning. It's not just 3-second or 10-second views that are not nothing. That means they found you. 60-second and above are much more reasonable and meaningful. But there are these views. And then there's the virtual lounge that we have become accustomed to understand as a landing place for those that are new. And then there's this messenger chat. Then a connect call. This is where you take it from the digital realm into the face-to-face actual realm. So it goes from virtual to actual. Right there, that is a game changer. And then from there, you can actually help people with their next steps and Zoom groups and so forth. You'll notice that a lot of people can drop in from online to on-site. Let me, and I did a whole case study there for them. Let me flip this over. I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about making digital disciples. Many people think, man, you know, this whole digital thing is a bit foo-foo and so forth. You can't actually make disciples? Come on, you gotta talk together. But let's be very careful not to be old crotchety wineskins. God is actually doing a new thing. He's actually given us a taste of new wine, which initially is not very tasty, so I've been told. And yet there's a hard reset happening in the lives of people all over the world. We better engage in that reset as the church, or we're going to be left behind. Here's the thing. There's a reset that is happening. That is so powerful. And as we understand that, and impart that, our people are prepared to step up into something that they've not been engaged in before. So let me talk you through this one, making digital disciples. And again, we've got our on-site. I've used an example of 500 people in your Sunday service, men, women, and children. Some you might say, I wish. Others are going, man, past that deadline or that milestone some time ago. Whatever. Just work the numbers on that basis. So in our on-site, so I flipped them over here, on-site, God's guests, identified guests or guest cards, growth track, life groups and teams, and backdoor. Yeah, you'll always lose 10%-ish of your congregation any one year. So let's look at these identified guests. 3 or 4% of that, which is 15 per week or 750 a year. Come with me, I'm going to talk fast. We're looking for 30%. I'm taking the lower of these numbers into and through growth track. That's about 20 per month. And then we want 80% by that time someone's given you their details, they've gone to growth track. We want 80% of that figure, give or take 200, keeping the figures round, in life group or team, preferably both, and then you're going to lose 50 people, which is 10% of your 500, for a net increase of 150 in the late 20s, say 30% growth in your church. But we haven't yet talked about online. Let's not neglect that. I'm firmly convinced that if you do this right, you can have between 2x and 10x of your normal Sunday on-site attendance actually as serious views into your online world. We're looking for this virtual lounge, and obviously there's a fair bit in refining each of these. I want to give you an overview right now. So if of that, and I've gone for 5x, so 2,500 compared to 500. You say, oh, that's impossible. Mine haven't done that. Well, you're obviously not doing what needs to be done. I've seen northward of 10x, and I've seen some people that have got just a 1x or 2x. But I promise you, this is entirely possible. I know something about you. You're a way better leader than you give yourself credit for. You've actually pivoted this whole thing in such a short period of time to go on-site to online, take that leadership gift out for a spin and mobilize 30 to 40% of your people into online evangelism. So if 2% of that figure, which is 50 a week, that you can actually get them in the lounge, in the virtual lounge. They won't automatically fall over the line there. It's a really important consideration of how you do that. You've got to have movement language. You've got to feature it maybe 3 to 4 times in your broadcast. You've got to provide some real value add. It's light, it's breezy, it's fun. Create an expectation. So that becomes one of your major focuses in your online broadcast. You then engage people in a messenger chat. So you've got to have the right people, train them really well, and then ultimately to get them on a live call. That's a seriously vital part of this whole journey. And then from there, you can engage them in next steps, Zoom, or here's what we see often, even from this lounge. They identify themselves. That you can go to growth track in the on-site world. Sometimes you can get them straight to life group. Once you have a messenger chat, you're increasing the value for them. Take them to growth track, take them to a life group or team. They identify themselves properly. And then this call, again, you can get them sorted there. They can go to growth track there if they don't go to growth track in terms of the online version. So what I'm saying is there's a whole lot of movement that can happen from clicks to bricks, from views to pews. I'm not big on just having them sit in a pew. God didn't invest the gifts in them. The sum total was to have a butt that sits on a chair. They are way more gifted than that. And so just go with me on these numbers for a moment. If you have 5x, you have 2% of those, which is 2,500 a year. 30% of those you engage in some sort of chat. 50% of those you're able to get on a call, which as you can see is still a small percentage of this. And then 40% through next steps. You can add 120 people in addition to those that cross over there to your church online, just with those numbers there. 150, 120 is 270. It's over 50% growth in the life of your church. I don't know one pastor in the world that wouldn't be absolutely thrilled with that. So what we're talking about here, really simply, is activating your leadership gift. Activating your church in this re-entry season. It's about integrating the on-site and online worlds. They are not in competition. This is not, oh, thank God, and let's can the online or have it limp along like it used to. And those two together, activate your leadership and your congregation, integrate these things, will bring about acceleration. If you want to know how to accelerate in this next season, and you need a bit of a hand with that, we've been all over this with hundreds of churches around the world. I want you just to fill in the simple little questionnaire underneath, and we'll have a look at it and see whether we feel like you might be a good fit. We'll have a phone call and see how we can help you move forward. Been great to be with you. Hey, activate right now. No time to sit on your hands. Integrate the whole thing for acceleration moving forward. God bless you.